it's a bright future because of the changes, because for the first time in its history, it looks like Mexico will have a woman as president, Claudia Sheinbaum being the leading candidate at the moment. But at the same time, they are dealing with this increase in violence from criminal organizations that are connected to the cartels that we know, the Sinaloa cartel, the New Generation cartel, and the violence against political candidates. So that number of 34 candidates or aspiring candidates killed was in a report that was released earlier this week. But since that report was released, 3 more candidates or aspiring or backup candidates have been killed this week. That's the type of violence that continues to take place in Mexico. Meanwhile, there's violence against others that are involved with the political campaigns, relatives, people that work for politicians. So it's been out of control in Mexico.
This is Daniels 2:21. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. Kahala Yahweh B'Shem Yashai B'Shem Ruach Kodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect with the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about Mexico's new president, and I'm going to explain how this is really just the same thing, but with a different face. Because, contrary to popular belief, Mexico is not ran by Mexicans. Okay? Now, that being said, you're looking at this woman who his name is Claudia Sheinbaum. Now, this woman, she goes by the nationality of Jewish, but that's what you would refer to these people today as. This woman, she biblically it would be known as an Edomite. Okay, the Edomites descend from Jacob's wicked twin brother Esau, right? Paternal twins, not phenotypes. Now, ultimately, the lineage of Esau would go on to become what we refer to today as the Caucasian and so-called Jewish races. These are the people who were promised to have the rulership of the world through their weaponry and also through deceit, and that they would have the world upside down morally before the second coming of the Messiah. They're also referred to as the wicked of the Bible, right? They're also in the parable of the rich man and the poor man. They represent the rich man, right? The Israelites, we represent the poor man Lazarus. So you see, the thing is right now, these Edomites, namely the top tribe of Edom, that being the tribe of Amalek, because again, this woman more precisely would be an Amalekite of the tribe of Edom, or the nation of Edom. Now, she's not the first Jewish woman to come to prominence within the Mexican culture. The other very famous Jewish woman was Frida Kahlo, right? Her dad was a German Jew, I believe. And she came, and because these devils, they run society, they run the media, they run the banks, and all, they're the Edomites, right? So to them is given the world, the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, and the rulership. This is why these people are in all these seats of power, okay? And along with their seats of power, they bring with them their wicked ways. As you can see, this lady here, she's standing amongst the flags which she pushes. Okay, she is a leftist communist. Her parents were involved in the Mexican Communist Party. Okay, and she would be referred to as a technocrat. We're going to go through her governorship when she was the governor of Mexico City, I believe, or the mayor of Mexico City, and we're going to read a part of an article that explains that this woman is going to just basically bring forth the New World Order agenda from the World Economic Forum, which is what she was doing in Mexico City. But before that, let's go ahead and look at some of the other examples, because again, right now people are making a lot of hoopla because she is not a Mexican woman. She's a Jewish woman, right? Or should I say Edomite? But that's not a uncommon thing. You see, amongst the Hebrew Israelite community, one thing you constantly hear about is that Mexicans can't be Israelites because they got their own country. Well, that's bullshit, because you see, the Mexicans and all the Latinos of the northern tribes, we really don't even run our countries. Okay, we're simply captives within a government that's ran by the strangers. Okay, and right here is an example. Let me read this X comment. It says, there have been 12 presidents in Latin America with Arab origins, a result of more than a century of Arab migration to LA. Most of these Arab immigrants were Christian and some Muslims. All 11 presidents are either Lebanese, Syrian, or Palestinian origins. Now, this guy here, Bukele, right, the president of El Salvador, right, he's actually Lebanese, right? I think he's Lebanese. No, I'm sorry, he's Palestinian. Okay, it tells you here, and again, this guy here points out that in Ukraine, they got a Jewish president. Panama, Jewish president. Argentina, Jewish president. Latvia, Jewish president until 2023. Mexico, soon to be president. So, besides these other nations, in this case here, Ishmael, right? Ishmael are the Arabs ruling over us. This is all part of the curses that fall upon us Israelites. And why is that? Well, let's go and read what the Lord said he would do to us if we stop following his ways, how he would punish us. Well, let's see. This is Leviticus 26 and 17. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. So this is the remedy that the Lord uses once the Israelites, when we start following his ways, when we start going off and we start worshiping other idols and not obeying the laws of the Lord. The Lord will then give us the laws of those that we're following, right? And hence put us under the rulership of these heathen nations. And this is why, going all the way back to 600 BC, back when the Assyrians ruled over the northern kingdom, that was basically just the beginning of a very long road of captivity, which would still go on till today. Because again, the Sheinbaum, being president over the tribe of Issachar, that's just par for the course. Okay, these Edomites are going to reign over us. Because why? Because it tells you here, it says, they that hate you shall reign over you. Okay, right now we are not in positions of power or rulership, even though we possess the ideas, the power, right, and all the things needed to be successful rulers. But because of our curses, right, the curses that came upon us for going away from the Lord, for sinning and just being rebellious, these are the punishments that we have to go through. Okay, and besides that, these devils, these Amalekites, have been they're known for doing anything to get their way. And there's already talks about how this election was stolen, right? We've seen in the beginning video how there were 37 presidential candidates that were killed. Well, a lot of people aren't putting the dots together. They're saying, so like right here, this lady, she's ballot stuffing, okay? Over here, this lady is pre-signing the election votes with Sheinbaum on it. Okay, they showed an image of a voting box. Here it goes, that were basically thrown away, and these were other candidates. I guess the other lady that was voting, right? Because there was a lady and there was an actor or something. He was like a soap opera actor or something. But like novelas are big over in Mexico, Latin America. Our people love drama, so that shit just draws them in. But that wasn't enough to get rid of the Edomite propaganda system that went through. These women here are still counting the votes at 12:45, and they've already declared Sheinbaum as the winner here. So they did exactly what they tried to do with over here with Biden and Hillary, where they try to call them as the winners before it's even official. And these are the counters talking about how, that it can't be possible because they're still counting the numbers, right? We got, and then overall, this is a German paper, by the way. The German caricature artist here pretty much puts it out, right? You got Sheinbaum here coming up to the president, the throne, but what's behind her? Well, it says Dragon Cartel, so the drug cartel, okay? And the thing is a lot of people, like I said, aren't putting the dots together because they say that she's the cartel's, presidential candidate. But here's the question: who runs the cartels? Do they run those drugs just because they want to, because they want the money? No. The cartels are allowed to run, and they're also propped up and trained and basically put into positions of power by the clandestine organizations, the CIA, the Mossad, all those people. And you know for sure that this was a CIA plant because, again, when you look at Claudia Sheinbaum, and this, by the way, is just showing how the peso has went down like close to 4%, right? So basically making their money weak because people know what this lady is going to bring forward. She's going to bring forward a lot of these world governance agendas, right? And that includes, and by the way, the reason why she's called Dr. Claudia Sheinbaum is because she's a climate scientist, okay? And she's been on many boards pushing that whole green agenda, which is really just a cover to bring in communism on a global scale. So that being said, this woman, she is an insider, okay? She is part of the team or part of the club that we're not in. Okay, here she is with another Jewish entrepreneur, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, right? So she's all about the leftist, liberal, Edomite agenda that they're pushing forward to bring forward the New World Order, and she's tied in with all these people. So again, there is no accident that this lady ran, right? You even had the previous president that this lady pretends to be a copy of, that little old, Mexican man, Obrador Lopez, whatever, who actually came out a couple months ago saying America is ran by the Jewish mafia. Well, look what they did to his ass. They basically brought in this woman to lead his country, which he pretty much handed it over to her, right? And they took care of the rest. They took care of the voting, as you just seen, and now she's there. Now, here's an article to give us a hint, a glimpse into how the future of Mexico is going to be. Mexico, by the way, is going to be in for a pain of hurt because they are going to be thrusted in to the New World Order agenda with the microchips and all the technical dystopian future that comes along with it. So let's read it. This is from americasquarterly.org. It goes on, but it kind of just brings in, the article reads, Claudia Sheinbaum, technocrat or true believer? And it kind of goes through, and it's, it's not biased, but it doesn't show how people, when she was a mayor, it says support for Claudia Sheinbaum's presidential trajectory slackens. Mexico City residents answer whether they would support a 2024 election. So, in July, it was 48 said yes, 44 said no. And then you had the propaganda machine go in August, right? So that would be about almost, 10 months ago. The propaganda machine, like it showed all these people basically paying, like there was so many billboards, the reports go, of Claudia Sheinbaum, like silhouette with every city's name on it. And these billboards were everywhere, right? Along with commercials and everything. To the point where people were asking, where was she getting all this money, right? Well, the answer is she was getting it from her fellow Edomites, the bankers, the globalists, all the people that she's in bed with, right? Politically. are making sure that this woman is injected into Mexico's political system, so that way she could bring forward all these agendas that the World Economic Forum is pushing upon us, right? And the thing is people started to see this, and a lot of people started to say there was less people who wanted her president than didn't want her president, right? But with those 37 candidates that were killed off, and all the ballot stuffing, the pre-votes, corruption. Apparently, there was also stories of cartel members going into voting stations and basically, firing guns to scare off the people, right? This is the people that we're dealing with, right? So this article goes on and kind of concludes what they surmise about Claudia Sheinbaum's presidential campaign based off of her mayoral campaign. It says, despite her ideological alignment with Lopez Obrador's political project, some observers believe a Sheinbaum presidency would look more like her technocratic, data-driven city administration than the president's "we have our own numbers" leadership, right? So you see, so this right here, technocratic, data-driven city administration, right? That right there is your mark of the beast. You're not going to be able to buy or sell without that mark. Everybody's going to need to get a real ID. Everybody's going to have live within 15-minute cities. Everybody's going to have electrical transportation. And if you could afford it, an electrical car. That's what that is. That's what the whole technocratic, idea is, okay? These devils are going to use so much technology to where they're basically going to build, or they're planning to build, a digital prison around all the people of the world. Okay, and it starts with that mark of the beast, that RFID implantable chip that's going to go in your hand, or the chip that's going to go in your head, right? Kind of like the Neuralink chips. Okay, this is the future that this lady is going to likely bring. This says this article. It says, while she often echoes Lopez Obrador's attacks on the neoliberalism of Mexican institution, right? That's actually what she is, including criticism of the National Autonomous University of Mexico, her alma mater, right? So she even talks shit to her own school, right? Because she's just playing a role, okay? It says, Sheinbaum has also worked with the private sector on local development projects. The city has even benefited from the 2013 reform while she's been in office, which the metro and other public services buying lower cost energy through CFE contracted private generators. And that's about it. The rest of this kind of just tries to end it on a happy note. But again, the biggest thing here is this is the system that this lady is going to instill. And why is that? Well, because these Edomites have an agenda to pursue, right? They need to get everybody to take these microchips, these marks of the beast, right? So that way they could then own your soul and finish their agenda, which is basically make us ineligible to receive the blessing. They're going to try to kill off the true Israelites, okay? And what better way to put an Edomite over the true Israelites than to make it seem like this is the first woman to be president of Mexico, right? And all this type of stuff. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And that's ultimately what these elections are. The elections around the world, for the most part, are no longer elections, they're selections. And Edom has control over all of them. This is why you see them go crazy when somebody gets in that wasn't supposed to get in, or you're seeing so much infiltration around the world. Perfect example is Ukraine. How did an Edomite, an Amalekite Edomite who was a comedian, become president? Well, because of all the control that Edom has over these other countries. So this is Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh Bashem El Shai hath indignation forever. So you see, these Edomites, when they get into these countries, a lot of wickedness happens. Again, let's go back to Ukraine. Ukraine has had its young generation obliterated, wiped out, as if it was purposely done, so that way they could get rid of the native Ukrainians and bring in the Khazarians, right? The Khazarians is right from Israel, which is what they're doing right now, right? There is a great transport of Israeli citizens to Ukraine to take it over, right? There's big Hasidic communities over there in Ukraine now, right? They're all, I'm not showing this on media, but you go to X or you go to these other alternative sites and you can actually see these videos for yourself. You see what Amalek's doing. They're moving around the world. They're moving on their agenda, Akim, and that agenda includes killing off the true Israelites, enslaving the other nations, right? They believe this is all part of the blessings that were promised to them, but it's not, right? This is our blessing, right? To be the rulers of the world, to create the heaven-like status upon the face of the earth. And we're going to do it through righteousness, right? The Lord's going to be, at the head, and he's going to be ruling everything, and he's going to dictate everything according to how the Bible's, tells us to rule, okay? And that's going to be the heaven on earth, not this diabolical, deceptive system of infiltration into world governments and wicked rulership and genocides being played out in front of our eyes. This is not, heaven. This is the hell, right? This is Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So these Edomites, they are going to succeed. It is going to look like they're going to succeed, okay? In the Bible, it tells you that when they are about to fill their belly, right, while they are eating, right, which means while their World Economic Forum is starting to kick off, while the majority, at least 2/3, at least 1/3 of the world population is going to be microchipped, okay? It tells you that out of the Israelites, only 1/3 of our people are going to be saved because of how vicious and effective that these Edomites' corruption is going to be, to the point where they're going to destroy 2/3 of our people. Either they're going to do it physically, destroy them, where they're going to take them down by the sword, the gun, or they're going to mentally destroy them, right? They're going to make them self-hate each other. They're going to make them believe that siding with the Edomites is the only way, right? Giving your soul over to these devils to live forever in a computer suit is going to be the deceptions of these devils. But again, like the scripture said in 2 Corinthians, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. These devils are going to be pulling out all these stops. And now, with this recent presidential election, the tribe of Issachar, which are the so-called Mexicans, are going to start to feel that pain a lot more. And they're going to see their country, which 80% are Catholic conservatives, they're going to realize real soon that because they wanted this woman to be president, or because they lost control of their government and their elections no longer work, they're going to find out what it is to have a globalist run their country. So ultimately, hopefully this video was edifying. I just want to shed a little light of what's going down there in the tribe of Issachar land. So until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Bashem El Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.